Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, we are back with another episode, guys. And in today's video, chapter 40 of Genesis, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. All right, little recap, guys. Remember, chapter 39 was about Joseph and how he was blessed by the Lord. Uh, he found favor in the sight of the Lord. Um, and Fatifar, his you could say his owner, right? He was obviously wrongfully sent to Egypt, but the man who was in charge of him, um, he was blessed by him, and he respected him a lot. But his wife wanted him to have sex with him, wanted him to have sex with her. He didn't want to, so she lied about it. She deceived him. She took some of his clothes, and when his or her husband Fatifar came home, he lied about Joseph. She lied about Joseph, saying that he wanted to sleep with me, this Hebrew, and then he got mad, so he sent him to the prison. So now we're chapter 40, and we're going to be continuing on the story of Joseph. So let's get it, guys. Sometime after this, the butler of the king of Egypt. So remember, Joseph is in prison right now. But the game warden. Why did I say the game warden? The what's it called? The prisoners. The warden. I think it's just called the warden. Yeah. So the warden of the prison was uh, liked Joseph, respected Joseph, and so yeah, that's important to know. So after some time, the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker offended their lord, the king of Egypt, and the pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief butler and the chief baker. I don't know what they did. Maybe the chief baker maybe brought him some bad food. Um, Chief Butler maybe didn't listen. I don't know what it was, but he got so mad. So it says, and he put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison where Joseph was confined. So he put them in the custody of Fatifar, and he said, "Well, I'm putting them in the prison where Joseph is." The captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he waited on them, and they continued for some time in custody. So that's kind of pretty big, right? Because to me, I interpret that, or I view that, and I can read it as like Fatifar was so mad at Joseph because he was like, my wife told me that he wanted to sleep with him. He's embarrassing me in front of my house, in front of my man. I'm putting him in prison. And you would think that he would kill him, or you would think that he would hang him, or you'd think he'd sell him off to somebody else, or you would think he, would have a bad relationship with him. But it says right here, it says the captain of the guard, which is Fatifar, brought the king of the butler and the chief to the prison where he has Joseph, and he told Joseph, "Look, you're in charge of these two men." So it kind of shows like he doesn't like him probably, but he still has some type of he's like aware and respects Joseph to a degree maybe because he put Joseph in charge of him. Goes to show how much honor and respect Joseph gets. And so he says Joseph, and he waited on them, and they continued for some time in custody. So Joseph was just kind of like watching out for them, keeping an eye out for them, because their whole lives he was just a butler and he was just a chief, and so just like that, they're putting into this disgusting, filthy, bad place. It's a jail, it's a prison, and they're not used to that life. And Joseph's life is obviously he's blessed by the Lord, so everything that he touches and does is doing good. He has no problems with anybody in the prison. He's friends with the warden. So the Fatifar, I'm sure, saw that, knew that, and is like, look, be in charge of these two. So, yeah. So it says, and one night they both dreamed, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were confined in the prison, each his own dream, and each dream with its own meaning. When Joseph came to them in the morning and saw them, they were troubled. So after one night, Joseph looked at them and said, "Hey, you guys are okay." But he saw in their face that something was bothering them. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him and cut in the custody in his master's home, meaning like he's in prison. He said, why are your faces downcast today?" So it's like, why are you guys so sad? So they said to him, and it's kind of like a small little side note. It kind of goes like Joseph's in that same prison. Joseph sleeps in the same bed. Joseph's in the same jail cell, in the same prison. But yet Joseph has this type of like, look, why you guys sad today? Come on, don't be like this. Like he's still, um, how do I say it? He's still, he's keeping his energy up. He's still in a good mood. He's trying to, he's not letting his uh, surroundings dictate him as a person. He's saying, he's in prison. He's wrongfully and unjustly locked up in this prison. He shouldn't even be in Egypt, but he's still saying like, "Why are you guys sad? Come on, guys." So we'll go back to a smaller side note. Um, where was I? Yeah. Okay. So right here, verse 8. They said to him, "We have had dreams, and there is no one to interpret them." And Joseph said to them, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell them to me, I pray you." So he's saying, look, like they told to Joseph, like, we had dreams. They're confusing. We don't know how to interpret them. We don't know what to make of them. We don't know good, bad. We don't know. And Joseph said, look, um, do not interpretations belong to God? It's like, don't, but interpretations belong to God. Isn't God the one who's all knowing, all right? He knows everything. He's like, just tell them to me, and I'll pray for you, and I'll pray you. Meaning, is like, I'll tell you what it is, how I interpret it. So Joseph's ultimately saying, look, God is the one who decides your fate. God's the one who's interpreting this, or God's the one who's going to tell you what your dream is. He's like, but you can tell him to me, and I'll see what I'll interpret it as how I see it. So the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, "In my dream, there was a vine before me, and on the vine there were 3 branches. As soon as it budded," meaning as soon as it blossomed and it bloomed, it blossoms shot forth, and the clusters ripened into grapes. So this is kind of how I view it. So once they ripened into grapes, Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and I pressed them into Pharaoh's cup and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. Meaning, as in, like, he had these grapes, he put them in his cup, he squeezed the grapes inside his cup, maybe making wine, maybe some grape juice. I don't think he was drinking grape juice, or maybe he squeezed the grapes and then he put something else in it and he made wine. And he put it back into Pharaoh's cup, similar to how a butler would do. Then Joseph said to him, "This is his interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office, and you shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand as formerly when you were his butler." So he's saying, look, this is in 3 days, you're going to do that exact same thing, and you're going to place his cup into his hands as you would do before. And you're going to continue to go on to be a butler. You won't be here no more. But he said, look, but remember me when it is well with you. So he's like, look, once you're back to your normal life, everything's going good with you, remember me. And do me this kindness, I pray to you, to make mention of me to Pharaoh. So he's saying, look, don't forget to, like, he's saying, please mention my name to Pharaoh, the king. And so get me out of this house, for I was indeed stolen out of the land of the Hebrews. And here also I have done nothing that they should put me into this dungeon. So he's saying, look, just remember me. Tell the Pharaoh my name. Let him know my name. Let him know that I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm in a dungeon that I'm not supposed to be at, in a country I'm not supposed to be at. I was stolen from me, from the land of the Hebrews. So now we get to the chief. So when the chief butler saw that the interpretation was favorable, so he was listening to Joseph, and he was saying, look, well, the butler's story was good. Hopefully my story should be good too. So he said, look, he said to Joseph, I also had a dream. There were 3 cake baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there were all sorts of baked food for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating out of the basket on my head. And Joseph answered, this is how Joseph responded. This is interpretation. So he's saying, look, this is what's gonna be, bro. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from you and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat the flesh from you. Uh, so that is not a good story. That is he's saying you're gonna die, bro. So it says on the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants and lifted up the head of the chief butler and the head of the chief baker among his servants. He restored the chief butler to his butlership, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted it to them. Yet the chief butler did not remember Joseph, but forgot him. So remember, Joseph was saying, look, I interpreted the story for you. All I'm asking you is just to mention my name to Pharaoh. And it says, the chief butler did not remember Joseph, but forgot him. So he completely forgot him, whether on purpose or on accidental, we don't know. But the fact is that whenever he was restored back to his rightful job, or his job before he was in prison, uh, he forgot Joseph, and he never mentioned his name to the Pharaoh. So maybe that might come back to bite him in the butt. We don't know. I guess again, we don't know if he did it on purpose or he did it on accident. Like he genuinely forgot Joseph, or he remembered Joseph, but he genuinely he ignored him. So, but that's it for chapter 40, guys. Chapter 30, yeah. But yeah, so let's see what happens in the chapter 41, guys. Hope you guys like the video. My camera's just about to die, so hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.